Hi,
Hi, Carrie.
how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good.
How's your day going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. I had a meeting with the builder on my house renovation project today. I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Figure this out here.
Good. Who's all going to be on? Do you know?
So there was 9 people signed up, but
Awesome.
we'll see. People forget.
Yeah.
Gotta send messages out. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Um, there we go. Hey, Brandon, how we doing?
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Awesome. How's your day going so far, right?
It's going all right. Just been waiting for my COVID results to come back,
Uh,
but luckily I haven't had any symptoms.
good, good. How long has it been?
Um, I got notified by the church that I was exposed to somebody about a week ago, and it's been all 14 days since I had any interaction with that person.
Gotcha. So you're just waiting to get back the results?
Yeah.
Let's see. Carrie, you can still hear us, right?
Yeah.
Also, okay. Just trying to figure out this mute stuff and non-mute stuff here.
Don't mute me.
If you start talking out loud, I will.
That's fair.
Do you two know each other, Brandon and Carrie?
No.
Oh. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Carrie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, Brandon, where do you live? You live here in Phoenix?
I live outside of Phoenix in Buckeye, Verado area. Yeah.
Very cool. And you've been in the gatherings?
I've been to a couple, but after August last year, I had to start working on a bill for the state senate, so I was working on that, so I didn't get to go since then.
Gotcha. Hopefully we get to start meeting again.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's nice when we're in person. It's hard.
Yeah.
Making everybody learn new stuff, though. I've never even done a Zoom before, besides these things.
Oh, I was going to say, you've never done a Zoom before?
Just besides the gatherings we've been having.
Yeah.
Never even done Zoom. I thought it was mining people's data. A huge thing they got busted in China for doing. Zoom was on that indictment.
Really?
Yeah, they said they were listening in on people's personal calls and taking information.
Oh, wow.
Like business meeting information.
That's juicy.
Luckily for me, I don't have too much important stuff to share, so they can have it.
What are we going to be talking about tonight?
We're going to talk about. Let me met somebody else in here. Hold on.
Cool.
Hello, Ashley. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Yeah. Can you talk? Or are you muted? Oh, here. I got you.
Trying to turn on my earphones.
There you go. We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm trying to turn these on, so I might just go into a different room.
So we got Brandon and Carrie are on already.
Hi.
I think we
Hi.
met Carrie at the gathering in person.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Move into another room.
And then what do you guys see? Do you just see me or a screen of everybody?
I see everybody.
Okay,
I can see everyone too.
perfect. Awesome. So yeah, we'll wait a couple more minutes if anybody else comes on, but I think what we're gonna, most of the topic is gonna be about, I mean, my personal experience in faith has been kind of restored in the past couple of years. I turned my back on all that stuff for about 15, 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
So most of what I wanted this group to be about was for us to share experiences, be an open forum, a little less, it's gonna be a little different than, the gatherings where Chad's talking to us. So you want more of us chiming in a little bit, shared experiences. A lot of my entrepreneurial stuff and being in business has been the biggest struggle for me has been isolation, myself, and not feeling like I can connect with too many people. Since I renewed my faith, and it was through this group, friends that Carrie and I both had, but some people bringing me to this gathering thing and then getting closer to Chad and I'm getting part of this group has really restored my faith in God. So this part is super new for me, but I want to share a lot about what it's done for me from the personal and business aspects. Like when I go through a lot of hills and valleys, and mostly the valleys, trying to get out of them, so I think running your own business or being high level in a business, you get a lot of that flow where things are like just amazing days that you can't even explain, but then equally or worse in the valley. And you feel like you have no way to get out of it, or maybe that is it's the ending of the business or what you're doing. So I know most of you and the people that are supposed to be joining too. I know pretty much everybody on this, but I wanted to have everybody kind of introduce themselves and a little bit about them, give us more context to what we could be talking about, what we're sharing. But really, this group's going to be, I think we're going to double up next week because we missed the first one, but they're every other week. But we're going to play catch up, so we'll do again Monday next week, but then it'll be every other week. But yeah, introduce yourself, what you currently do, make experiences in the business world, and then we'll jump into some questions I want to throw out on the board and then just some comments. So I'll just go in the order by sea of human beings. So Carrie, go ahead.
I'm Carrie, and I actually live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I got involved with the gathering and the group of people because I have a place out in Scottsdale. And so I met everybody there, and really, just like you were talking about, this kind of renewal of faith has just changed the whole trajectory of my life. Right now, I'm super excited. I feel really positive about what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be doing and all of that. So I don't have a job, but I'm thinking that I can apply everything that we talk about just to life in general,
Yeah, absolutely. And to give you a little more background, Carrie, I mean, you say you don't have a job, but you have seen the inner workings of your business, your family business, grow from the inside of ownership. So you fully understand what it takes, the toll it takes on family, on you.
Oh, of course.
So you totally understand that.
I do. Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah. Well, I'm Brandon Berry. I live out here in Buckeye, Arizona, and I was introduced to the gathering by my buddy Tim Tebow's brother Robbie, and it was Tim that brought me. Well, the day I met Tim is when I came back to my faith after having a seizure at a baseball game and him praying over me.
Oh my gosh.
And just this whole journey since then has been an amazing journey with God, and I'm I'll be 2 years seizure free August 7th if everything goes okay.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
it's just a blessing. And right now I just do epilepsy advocation and going to be going back to school here soon to be an EEG technician.
Yes, that's awesome. We're going to have to connect on that. We use a EEG device here in our sport, so we track left and right brain. It's fun. That's awesome, man.
Very cool.
Next human in line, Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I live in Scottsdale. Also, I've since COVID been living in Prescott as well. I kind of been bouncing back and forth. I am a mom and a business owner. I am a real estate agent as well as design, and just started doing that up in Prescott and down in Scottsdale. So I grew up very strict Christian home, and I think I rebelled a little bit after that when I moved out and did it on my own and everything. But a lot of everything kind of just keeps pulling me back to my faith. I've kind of gone in this uphill roller coaster. I've had my own internal battles with, just different thoughts and kind of challenging different things, which I think is kind of normal. My daughter has an autoimmune disease, so I think that's shown me so much of just God's grace, God's love, and the more that I pour into him, the more blessings that is bestowed upon my life. And very lucky for my daughter to be even here today. So I have a lot to attribute to just my faith, and that's literally what keeps me going. And I think that almost she's a blessing that, hey, I put her in your life for the reason to show you just how mighty I can be. So it's incredible. And she's an incredible little girl. And I also have a 7-year-old son too. So yeah.
They're both amazing. Yeah, she's a fighter. They're both amazing human beings. Testament of you. Well, I wanted to, when I talk mostly, because this is really all I do in life, is I spend my life here at the office. So this is really what I know. I don't have kids or anything like that, but I wanted to speak from what I know the best is the business world and what it takes to be in it, or just chase a dream. It doesn't have to be like owning your own business, but chase something you're really passionate about that maybe other people just don't give you like, oh, don't do that, it's too hard type of routine. And it's usually the people closest to you that give that right act to you. So it's hard enough even taking the step to take on a challenge like that, something that's close to your heart that you believe in that sometimes other people don't. That's challenging enough to crush you, to break you, to make you doubt yourself. For the longest time when I wasn't in my faith, my valleys were pretty bad. I would disappear for a couple of days, like off the grid a little bit, and not even connect with my family, just because I didn't have anything I felt like bounced back off of. I couldn't bring it to anybody close to me because it felt like they'd be disappointed in me. So if I brought something that was hurting me or something that I was going through, I felt like bringing it to the closest people to me that love me was going to make them feel a certain way about me, or weak, or not important, or I told you so. So I didn't have anybody to go to, and especially didn't have God in my life at the time. So now it's been the solace for me. It helped me from the valleys I still have are deep. They come often because I do so much stuff, but I feel like I have somebody through that. And then through that, I've built these relationships like the people here to really support that idea as well. So I'm less scared to discuss it in open than I was. When I first came back to God, I was like, oh, I'll just have him to speak to, and he'll only know. I still don't have to tell anybody. So it was like cheating a little bit. But through the experience and being in this community and being with people and meeting people that we share downs, right? Like that's the most important part as human beings, to connect it. That the thing that is similar to all of us is failure. Nobody gets around it. It's just a look they have on the outside. It's what you put up shows you success. Nobody wants to put up the other side. And I want to use this group and continue to talk about that stuff, because when you get it out and get it off, you move on. It feels less lonely, the feeling about it. So
Definitely.
I saw something the other day that I shared with Ashley, and it was just a quote that literally said, there's an image that's kind of mind blowing. It's a little, I don't even know if you can see it. I'll put it up so you can see it. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So it's a massive, I don't even know what that is, beast and a little guy. And a little guy's just holding him off, right?
Yeah.
And the quote says, "The universe will send you exactly what you asked for, and then send you a distraction to see whether you're going to fuck it up what you asked for." Right? And I feel like that really is our life, especially when you take on challenges that are beyond norm. So when I say challenge, I mean just like we talked about, things close to your heart, running a business, trying to take a leap and doing something. I think the bigger the ask, the bigger the distraction we put in front of you. And sometimes you don't know which one is supposed to be yours, right? Sometimes the distraction is to test you to see if you'll keep going in your path. Sometimes the distraction is where you need to be going. And that's the mind fuck, excuse me for my language, but mind fuck of like life. How do we know when to pick the direction? Anybody read those books, Pick Your Tail, when you're younger? Like you get to pick a different direction every time you read it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I feel like my life is like. You don't know that book, Ashley?
She may be too young. Like
Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was the most brilliant thing ever came out.
yeah.
And then they just went away. Maybe it was messing with people's heads.
Must have been gone by 88 because I don't remember them.
Yeah. So if I'm always going to ask, and if anybody's comfortable or you're not comfortable, obviously you don't have to share, but I want this group to learn by experience. So sharing stories, sharing things that are currently or past have gone on with you. So if anybody wants to share an experience along these topics that, you know, you found yourself in that moment, like this or that, or is this the right way, or when you started something, you know, go ahead. I'd love to hear it. And I think our stories together collectively help us be strong. I'm only hosting this in the sense that I started the meeting. So this is our group, not my group. So like, if you want to share something or something come up, I mean, I'd like to hear more about your experience, Brandon, that happened with when you met Tim. You know, when you went through that. That sounds like a huge impact in your life. You know, not only for the faith, but just that happened to you. You mind sharing that with us?
Yeah. If you guys don't mind, it might take a minute or so to get through it. Well, I was saved in 2013. I was going through things, trying to figure out what my life is, and I thought alcohol and gambling would ease that pain, but it didn't. And I knew I needed a change, so I started going to a singles group at church, and that's where I got saved. And I remember getting baptized, my pastor saying, "Brandon, you're going to go through a wilderness like Jesus did when he went out in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights." And I didn't know my wilderness was going to start a few months coming after that, when I had my first seizure and I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And I just kept having these seizures, and we could never figure out what was going on. And I just felt like God didn't love me anymore, and he took away my salvation, and I felt like a failure in life. My friends and my family were getting married, having kids, having their careers, and I'm here doing nothing. And all of this is happening to me. And there was one day, April of 2016, where I decided I did not want this pain of epilepsy anymore, this pain of failure. So I was going to end my life. And as I was going to do that, two things happened. I got an image of my mom in my head having to bury her only son. and I couldn't do that, put that burden on her. So, and then notification, I was scrolling through my Facebook right then and there, and this article in Forbes magazine about this young lady named Georgia Ford. She was 8 years seizure free, and that there just gave me hope that, you know, one day I can be seizure free. That, you know, that even though I'm going through this right now, there's some kind of hope out there. So a couple of months later happened. I was supposed to go for MRI of my brain because I had also a pituitary tumor, but the MRI machine broke. And I remember the doctor telling me, Brandon, you need to go do something you enjoy. And I enjoy baseball. And right down the street from my house was where this Arizona Fall League game was happening. So I decided to call Uber, and I went to the game. And as I sat down into the bleachers at the stadium, there was a man sitting next to me talking to a reporter from the New York Times about God. And it just kept tugging and tugging at my heart to talk to this man. And when he got done, I introduced myself and told him my story. And he told me his story about his son who had seizures. And the floodgates just opened up then there. And I said, you know, Daniel, I just feel like God doesn't love me anymore, that he took away my salvation. He said, Brandon, God loves you. And once you're saved, you're always saved. And we went over scripture and we prayed right there in the stands. And I rededicated my life to Jesus that day. And I didn't feel alone anymore. That hole in my heart was filled again. And I just felt like a new person again. But a couple of hours later, the game was over, and it was a very, you know how October gets here. Sometimes it can be hot.
Mm-hmm.
I was sunburnt to a crisp, and I was so hot. Um, we were waiting right there on the third baseline for the players to come by, and I just felt sick to my stomach and got this metal taste in my mouth, which lets me know a seizure's coming on. And I tried my hardest to get to the ground, and I blacked out. I don't know if I got to the ground okay or not. And then seizure happens, and then I wake up and I see all these people just and news photographers just taking pictures of me and stuff, and I was very scared. It was a very embarrassing moment right there. And then I looked to my right side, and Tim was there, and he'd been there praying over me and, you know, making sure I was okay. And he stayed and talked to me for about 20 minutes, and I just knew that God had him there for a reason. And to find out, he said that he prayed for me to be healed. And what's crazy is the next day I go to the hospital, and they do a thing, the EEG.
Yeah.
And I had many EEGs done over the years. We could never get a reading, but that day on the EEG, we got a reading on the left side of my brain where I had a mild traumatic brain injury where the seizure activity was happening. And just showed me God was real. You know, he didn't stop the seizures right away. A couple of years later, um, seizures kept happening, but um, I was listening to a podcast about this thing called DDP yoga. I don't know if you ever heard of DDP yoga.
No, what is that?
It's a yoga program by a
Okay.
former professional wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page, and
Right.
and I've been doing this DDP yoga since August 7th, and it's like God wanted me to do this yoga, and ever since I've been doing it since then, I haven't had a seizure.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
And Tim's prayer, you know, was answered.
Yeah.
What an amazing story, dude.
So powerful.
I mean, that part where you met that guy in the early day and you prayed and you felt whole again, and then just to have your fear happen the same day is proof that he puts the challenge in front of you for you to know that it's real, right?
Oh yeah.
For him to have come in your life at that moment, for him to have seen you go through that, to be there, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it was something I never thought would ever happen.
What's your description of yourself now?
My description now is, I trust God with everything in my life. I'm not the type of person to miss church anymore. Even though I had a battle of faith during this whole pandemic, the church that I was going to just shut down because of this pandemic. It's no longer in existence anymore. It was a planted church, and I had to find a new church, so I started going back to my old church in Avondale. And but I tried to miss a Sunday.
Well,
have you ever gone to Palm Valley?
Palm Valley.
I used to live out that way.
I was gonna try to go there. I watched the pastor.
Yeah.
Every probably Mondays, because I try to watch a bunch of different pastors, but I like Palm Valley Church.
Yeah,
I said if things don't work out at the church I'm at right now, I'd like to go there.
Yeah. That's the one thing I missed about living over on the west side of the valley is going to Palm Valley Church. It was incredible. Incredible. Yeah. They lost the pastor since I've been there, so I don't even know who the new pastor is.
I forgot his name, but he's a really good guy.
Yeah, it used to be Greg, and he actually passed away. So I don't know, but yeah, I love that church. Anyways, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good. I mean, it's just so you know. I mean, everybody, you share the same feeling. I think all of us feel, in this group in the country with what happened with COVID, having to readjust to what's normal for us and what is our safety and the whole nine. The gathering.
We're happy you're here with us, Brandon.
100.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like what a phenomenal story. And obviously, there's a huge plan for you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've been told by people, God has there's a purpose for me on this earth, and that's why I'm here.
I love it. Ashley, would you like to share?
I've got a lot of intertwined things in my life that's kind of brought me to where I am today. Growing up, my mother was very bipolar depressive. And that kind of what she was always, I was always her person growing up. So she would never talk to my father, my brothers, or anything about what was going on. It was always me. I even had to take her after she's overdosed a few times to the hospital, not even have my driver's license. So it's kind of forced me to grow up really quickly. And I never really understood, or I thought that was normal, and I never understood why I had to be that person. And I never wanted to be like my mother. My mother's a wonderful person. Don't get me wrong. She's lovely. Nobody on the outside would ever know. It was always, she dumped everything on me, very dependent on me. So I think I spent a lot of my time questioning, and which ultimately led me to question my faith and my, what did I do to deserve a mom that kind of does this to me? And almost that big, I just want to be a normal, high schooler or whatever it was. And it wasn't until I had my own kids, and my mom ended up moving in with my husband and I when I had my son, and, living with her over again. I would say I moved out right when I was 18, and she moved back in with me when I had my son and nannied for us. That was so healing for me, and giving her that grace, because I think I held on to so much that I just didn't really even know in my own head. And being a mom now myself, and then just going through everything that I went through, I think that really truly allowed me to heal and to forgive and to look at it from an adult's perspective rather than a children's perspective. And, we've had really healthy conversations about the boundaries of how she's crossed, just growing up and stuff. And she's, her and I we're in a really great place now. And she's helped me identify with that. But it's it's almost given me an empathic response to others that are going through depression, things that, you know, they don't really, I always say that I'm like the person that people just tell me things, like strangers. Like I'll be walking in a store and I don't know if I just put off a vibe that people feel safe. And I love that. Like I wouldn't trade that for the world, because I've been there, and I always said that I'm never going to be like my mother. But since the pandemic, I hit my lowest of low. Like I remember driving back and forth to Prescott thinking, I'm just gonna do this. Like I have 2 children, but they're taken care of. Their dad's amazing. I'm just gonna, you know, I don't have any like need for this. And I don't know what it was, but it's like just visions of my children, visions of my mom, like just were popping into my head. And I'm like almost getting annoyed, like, go away, God. Like I don't need this right now, or I don't want to need this. Like I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, just very selfish. So I don't really know where I was going with that, but I think that the process that, you know, the visions that he kept giving into my brain was, you're feeling this way, you're feeling some type of way because people need you. And I'm putting people in your life that need you. And so many of my friends have confided me on like their lowest of lows, and they've called me and wanting, you know, and I've been there for them. So I don't know exactly what that purpose is, but I do know that I feel like he's almost given me that feeling, because I've never felt like that before up until this pandemic, but he's almost giving me that feeling like this is what it feels like for those people who are reaching out to you, to almost give me more sympathy and more compassion, and how I can better help others that might be going through something like that. So I don't know where that's leading me, but I feel like I'm just kind of coming to fruition of what that all means, like up in from my childhood all the way until like my friends and the people that just by chance kind of come into my life. It's been a journey. So
Keep the door open.
yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hi, Lolly.
Hi.
This is Lolly. Lolly's driving to Cleveland as we speak. She also is our therapist here at Combine Performance.
Awesome.
It's actually a good time to come in. While we were just discussing like big moments in our life, like that have put us at crossroads to make big decisions. And you and I just had literally this conversation before you left. So might be a good time for you to come in, but just introduce yourself quick. Carrie and Brandon and Ashley are on here.
Hi guys. Well, my name is Lolly and I'm 34, and just like anybody else, we all go through our experiences and our moments in life where we need a little extra support and also guidance. And of course, I believe in power of prayer and in Big Lord upstairs, and he's always providing with all the right people in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. And with that said, it's a pleasure to meet you all, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad you can make it. How far are you?
Thank you. Actually, I haven't left yet, but I'm going to leave at 3 in the morning. I had to get a COVID test done,
gotcha.
and I had to do like a 24-hour thing. So that's why I'm still here. But I will be leaving at 3 in the morning.
Good.
So you couldn't fly and then drive in? Or are you just driving straight through?
I'm going to drive because I'm kind of temporarily moving there, so I have to take some stuff with me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And since Arizona's on the watch because we have a lot of COVID cases here, that's why I had to do the test just in case I get pulled over because of my plates, and I got to make sure I get over there because my mom is not doing well and she's in the hospital over there. So I just got to get there.
Yeah, like everybody to keep Lolly in your prayers. She's going through exactly what we just discussed, quite literally, about challenging times when things are over here are good and God puts something right in your face to challenge you. And I believe, and we have this conversation, I tell everybody, I believe that the toughest things are given to the toughest people. He does that on purpose. he knows what you can take and what you're able to take, and he puts it on those people. And sometimes when you don't recognize that, it feels overwhelming, and it feels like you've been picked on instead of given a gift. It feels like, why me feeling, instead of seeing the gift that's in it. And Lolly is smack in the middle of one of these times right now. So just everybody keep your prayers with her, because she's going to be driving to Cleveland to spend a lot of time with her mom.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
But
thank
she's
you
an
so
amazing
much.
person. She's always smiling no matter what. She's an amazing person. So we need her energy too.
I try. We got to stay positive. No matter what happens in life, we have to stay positive. You know, just enjoy life as much as we can and continue to smile. That's one of the things that my mother taught me, if anything, that we've gone through so much. I mean, the unimaginable, and she has the best smile in the world. It'll light up the whole room. And I guess I got that from her.
Yeah. Carrie, would you like to share anything?
Sure. I just kind of my faith journey. I grew up going to church my whole life, and I sort of thought like God was for other people. Like I felt like I was just like this insignificant, like tiny little person that God didn't see. I don't know. I just kind of grew up feeling that. And could relate so much to Ashley when you were talking about kind of your roller coaster of like rebelling and, doing certain things like that. I went through all kinds of those phases, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. I got sober 30 years ago when I was 20. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's really when my personal relation, when I found out like I could have a personal relationship with God, and so that's kind of when it started for me. I just had such low self-esteem that I don't know that I like turned my back on my faith. I just didn't feel like I deserved it, So I just kind of struggled along my life, like with that up and down, like being a wild child and, all that stuff. And then, in the past couple of years is when I feel like my faith has really like given me the confidence to do the things that I know that I'm supposed to be doing. One of my favorite quotes is, shine not so that others see you, but so that others see him through you. And so that's kind of my new, motto. It's like I'm not going to let my insecurity and my low self-esteem that I've had throughout my life, keep me from doing the things that I'm supposed to do, keep me from being the person that I'm supposed to be and helping other people. Like I do some philanthropy, and I felt like that I shouldn't get involved in stuff like that because I didn't have the knowledge about the organization, or like, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know enough. I shouldn't put myself in these positions. And it's like, I don't have to know anything to help, So I don't know. That's where I am. And I'm so grateful.
Oh, I'm grateful for you, because the stuff you're doing now, and that you made that decision and you had the confidence to make the decision, are helping so many people. You're like so involved in helping this, even what we're doing in the church and the stuff. I mean, you're very involved in that stuff, and it sometimes when you can't see who you're actually helping physically, it's hard, but you've done it. I mean, it's great.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
I think the cool thing too is when you have that mindset, like, who am I to like help or reach out, or like when you start talking to other people, everybody has that thought. Like, I take comfort and I'm like, I'm not the only one that thinks like, who am I? Like, I'm not good enough to do this. But then once I start talking to people, I'm like, they don't know either. Like, we're all just going to wing it and figure it out.
We're the only ones that know that we feel that way most of the time.
Yeah, totally.
Most of those greatest people I love being around share, when you get to know them, they do share the same thing. They share this like, and you never even understand it a lot of times. And the person, like, how can you not feel great about yourself? You're the greatest person I know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
and I was
really
going to say too, Carrie, like I've met you through, at the gathering and stuff, and even sat next to you guys at dinner and everything. And I'm like, this woman is full of so much just class and elegance, and she seems so confident. And like, I would have never known that you would even say that you're not confident. Like, I was always like, oh my gosh, this girl's so beautiful and like elegant and classy. And I
Thank you
just,
so much.
so every time I met you, I was like, I just love her. I love your energy. So I would have never known.
We are all the same on the inside, you know,
Yeah.
right? So
Sure.
Absolutely.
feelings and, so it is so good to share. I love it.
That's amazing. I think this is why these groups are going to be important. And there's a couple, I think, doing some other ones. I'm not sure. I didn't see the first one, but I think they're doing a couple. Do you know, Carrie? Did you see the other ones? I think they're doing a couples one, and then maybe she's doing a women's one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're going to try to make more of them and have people host if we can on different things. But I think they're important because of this sharing, because of the realizing the mirror effect. You see yourself in other people. Sometimes you think it's what we're going through and it's happening to us, but it's happening to all of us at all times. Or not one person has it better off than anybody else in the faith area, the sense that that you have God in your life. That's not how it works. There's no priority list he has. Everybody equally gets his love, and period. But sometimes you look at other people and think that they have it better than you, and you don't know until you heard Ashley just hear you say that, like
Right. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. So I want to be able to share as much as possible in these groups moving forward, and have it be an open thing with us, and not me really leading them, but maybe just putting up some topics to talk about. But I think we're going to do again Monday at 7, and I think after that one it goes every other. I'll send you a note. Are you guys getting the emails from the church thing that I send?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I
Okay.
think I am. I just got your email right now. So
Okay. Well, I'm gonna send another one, but it's gonna look like next Monday at 7. And then there was about, and I think this is the same problem we're having with the gathering, is we can see the amount of signups for the Zoom, but on this one it had 11 people on it, but there's only 5 of us in here, right?
Yeah.
So we got to find out the disconnect. So we're having the same problem with the church gathering. Like, we'll have way more people, 50 people sign up, but 26 are on.
If they could attach like a calendar invite, because when it got sent to me, it didn't have like the date and the time on it.
Really?
Yeah. So it had click the link. I just remembered it was at 7. So when it came over to me, I don't know if it was different for you guys, but maybe if they can attach, send it to your iCloud calendar or whatever calendar of choice or something. I think that's just an IT thing. That might help.
I'll ask them that. That would be helpful. Again, all the things we're learning now during COVID.
Technology.
I was telling these two when they got, I'm like, I've never even been on Zoom before, ever. Just for the gatherings, and then hosting when I spent like 40 minutes just trying to figure it out today.
In my life since March.
Yeah. My March life.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll work on that. I think you're right. I think it would help the gathering too, if people can get a reminder, because I think they're forgetting because it's not in anywhere.
Yeah.
They sign up, they want to be in tension, and they forget. So
I just live and die by my calendar. I don't know if anybody is like that, but like my day is like mapped out. So if I don't have it on my calendar, I'll forget about it.
Perfect. All right. So I don't want to keep you guys too long on your night. I know we went about 40 minutes or so, but I think Zoom has a time limit on meetings anyway. So before we get cut off or canceled, we'll end here for the day. But I appreciate you guys all joining. For the next one, I send the invite out. Invite anybody. I know it says Phoenix Connect on there, but it's just for the church to separate their Connect groups that they have in LA. So
Okay.
Invite anybody you know. Doesn't matter where they are. If they can make it at 7, let's grow this thing out and then keep sharing with each other.
Good.
It helps me.
Thank you.
It helps me a ton. I love you guys all for coming, and I appreciate you. Have a great night. Lolly, have a great drive.
What's
Be
that?
careful.
Yeah.
Drive safe. We're praying for your mommy.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Carrie, I don't know exactly. Thank you for sharing your story, and I think that you're doing great. Continue on that, peaceful road that you're heading, that you're in. And I was gonna say I don't know you personally, but I can tell that your presence alone helps a lot of people. If you show up, you'll put a smile on somebody's face, and when you can put a smile on somebody's face, that's where it counts.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, thank you for telling me that. That's amazing. I appreciate it. Yeah.
She's exactly that. Wait till you meet her.
Can't wait to meet you.
You've actually worked on me before.
Oh, yeah.
That's a relief. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
She has magic hands.
So whatever.
I think, is your name, okay.
Were you in a robe?
It was
Carrie, were you in a robe?
Yeah, that was it. That was me.
Okay. You look different in real clothes.
Right.
Yeah. You look different with clothes on.
Yeah.
Turn around, let me see the back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Not
Lay down on the table.
Show me your back. I'll remember.
I'll remember you.
Well, I love you guys. Have a great night. And thanks for joining. And I'll send you a next one. Thank you.
All right.
So fun. Thanks, you
Thanks,
guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.